Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, know that I appreciate you. I do apologize for the angle. I still haven't bought anything to put in here. And I apologize for the background noise. I just closed the window, so hopefully that helps. I'm turning the air on even though my gas gauge is almost on E because I need to stop and get gas. But I wanted to come on because it's been a rough day. Rough in the sense that hoping that this stays in here. Let's see. Move this over here. I don't talk a whole lot about my husband and his illness. I mention it from time to time, but I don't get into specifics other than his main illnesses, the uncontrolled diabetes and the gastroparesis. But another thing that's happening, my purse just fell. Another thing that's happening is because he's sick, he's dealing with depression because he's lost his ability to provide. He's lost control of his body. So he suffers from depression. And if anyone out there has ever suffered from depression, then you know how it can be. I myself have gone through depression on more than one occasion. My most severe, as I've mentioned before, was me spending basically a year in bed because I was so depressed after my first marriage ended, and I tried to move about as if everything was okay when it really, really wasn't. So I suffered severely with depression. The good thing was that my depression, although I was prescribed medication, it did not require medication. I was able to deal with mine more holistically and more spiritually. So I did more holistic treatments. I did natural remedies as far as it's a huge dog. I'm sorry. A dog got onto the highway somehow and was hit. So it's on the side of the road, and that's so unfortunate. But that was a really big dog. So I feel for the dog. I feel for the dog's family that's missing him or her. But anyway, so he's suffering severely with depression and memory loss and, of course, control of his body and his stability and not being able to do the things that he's used to doing or, has been able to do in the past. But all of what is going on has also intensified his impatience and his aggression. And his inability to see these things. He has never, with me at least, been aggressive to the point of physical aggression. That's never been an issue of ours. But his mouth can be just as intense as any physical aggression. And I speak all the time about abuse, or I shouldn't say all the time, but I have mentioned on more than one occasion abuse, and it comes in all forms. It's not just physical abuse, but it's mental, emotional, verbal, financial abuse. I talked about that more than once, and this illness is turning him into something that is quite unpleasant to deal with. And I know with my grandmother, as her Alzheimer's advanced, she became much more aggressive, both verbally and physically. She already had a swift tongue. She already had that. So that got more intense. She already had a quick hand. So that intensified. Not that she would hit me or anyone, in the family, but she was much more prone to put up a fight if you took something away from her that she wanted. I actually have a video of her basically fighting me for what she thought was a cigarette, and it really wasn't. So I was trying to get the lighter from her, and her strength was, massive. She had massive amounts of strength. So some of the things that are happening with my husband are reminding me of her behavior and the things that she did. And I've mentioned this to his doctors that, this is happening, and it is reminiscent of Alzheimer's to me. And of course, there's no testing for Alzheimer's. So they can't really test him and say, oh, this is it. It's just a series of things that happen, and they'll finally put the diagnosis on it. But this morning was intense. He gets into these dark spaces, these really dark spaces, and he becomes downright evil. Oh, I'm shifted. Well, I can't do anything with it right now. He becomes downright evil. So this morning was one of those mornings where he could not get his way, and instead of him accepting that he could not get his way as, a normal human being would, he became very, very verbally aggressive. And it's happened before, and usually I go toe-to-toe with him. Not the best solution at all. Not the best solution at all. Usually I go toe-to-toe, but this morning I just opted not to. It just made no sense whatsoever to do so. So, but I was in a really bad space for a while this morning, to the point where I sent my aunt a message and said, look, this is where I am. And, within 30 minutes, she gave me a call. She told me to reach out to her so that we could so we could talk. So that's what we did. We talked. And I felt much better afterwards, but I don't talk about the whole caregiver part of this thing. And maybe that's what I need to do a series on the whole caregiver part of this thing, because there ain't nothing like being a caregiver. I promise you, there's nothing like it. But I've got to get into this leasing office and hand over this month's rent before she rolls out of here. So I'll continue this later. I'll probably just do a series of videos and start posting them a little bit at a time. But peace and blessings. Remember to walk in your purpose and know that I appreciate you.